Welcome to another case study where Josh and I are out on the road visiting successful competitive socialising businesses in the hospitality sector. Today we're in Tenbury Wells, which is just northwest of Worcester, and we are visiting the Bridge Inn. Bob, the owner, has been very good to share with us insights in how he's converted this space that you see around us here, which he wasn't using, into a competitive socialising space above his very successful bar and restaurant business. Performance is up 25% over last year, and that's for his first 4 months that he's been trading this space. So hopefully you find this helpful. Okay, great. We are here with Bob Webb. Bob, great to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having us down to come and see your amazing place here. So Bob runs the Bridge.
Yes.
But it can be found as the Bridge Hotel, the Bridge Inn, but the Bridge.
The Bridge, yeah.
Is what we're saying it is.
Yes,
yeah.
That's how we call it.
So great to see you. So we actually stood in this area, which is called COSO.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about all of that in a moment. But let's go through how we got to this place.
Okay.
So how long have you owned the Bridge?
I've been here since 2006. Basically, we've been through a few floods and all different things. But yeah, initially this was our old ballroom from the hotel.
Yeah.
So yeah, been 2006.
2006, quite a while, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You've been there.
Seems like a lifetime.
Yeah. So the business comprises of 2 bars downstairs.
Yeah.
You've got rooms that you let. How many rooms have you
we've got 7 letting rooms.
Okay.
Yeah, two bars, and then we also run a kitchen that is eating, and also takeaways, which is gourmet burgers and pizzas.
Got a lot of strings to your bow.
Too many.
And then you decided to do this space.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, amazing. So give me the brief history of this space then. So when did you change it?
So we changed it, we opened it in November, but we started looking at doing this around about sort of March, April time of last year, 2024. Okay. It was rented out to some martial artists, and what triggered it all off was I was working in the kitchen and noticed that it was starting to pop the plasterboard heads, for they were doing jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai. Okay. So
people hitting the floor and plaster was coming down into your pizzas.
Yeah, so I was like, this can't happen. So asked them very nicely if they would find somewhere else. Yeah. So we then had this massive space with nothing to do with, really. Okay. We'd been to Flight Club in Birmingham. Okay. Had to go on the interactive darts, loved it. Yeah. Thought it was amazing. Googled it online where we could perhaps get some smart boards from, and found yourselves.
Okay, great.
And that's and then basically went to the event down in London last year. Yep.
So competitive socialising.
Yep.
Okay, 2024 as it would have been.
2024. Yeah, got some amazing information from that. I couldn't brag it up enough. From not just from the equipment, but from behind the scenes stuff like booking systems, etc. Yeah. Got in touch with Ben, who works for yourself. Went down to your showroom, and the rest is history.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Great journey.
Great journey.
Great journey, and delighted we've been able to help you make such an amazing space that you've got here.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that the show helped, because this is what we tend to find is that independent owners like yourself see that there's an opportunity, and we just want to help you learn about it and find your way and enable you to make it happen, which is what you've done so brilliantly. So let's just talk about fitting out the space, because it does look amazing. And when you sent the video in of what it looks like, I was blown away, which is what brought me to come and see you. So how have you done the space? What have you changed?
So basically, it was a little rundown. We had to spend some money on the roof because that was leaking. So we had to have a new ceiling put in. The corrugated tint was actually probably the cheapest thing that we managed to get. The whole feel of the room, which I wanted, was a derelict building, hence where you've got the foliage growing through, and then somebody's come into here and put some games. Yeah, that was the broken in and graffitied it. That was the sort of what we wanted to achieve.
Yeah. And it looks amazing. When you walk in, it looks great. The lighting is great. The signs you've got really add to the vibe, don't they? And you've not overdone it. It's real quality.
Thank you.
So yeah, I think it's amazing. So in terms of the products you've put in here, We can see quite a few of them, but do you want to run us through what you've got?
So we've got the interactive smart darts. Two of those, there's one behind the camera. So we've got 2 lanes of that.
Yep.
Shuffleboard over there.
Yep.
2 pool tables, golf darts in that corner, a karaoke room, and an F1 simulator room.
Okay. So you've really got a real good range of products that you've got in here. And you were saying that you actually rent the room out as an entirety.
We do, yes. We find we've got a lot of success with that. Basically, children's parties and also football teams, anything really that there's a large amount of people. And we basically rent the whole room out so that it's not a case of having to wait for a pool table, having to wait for a darts board or shuffleboard. It's just that they completely mingle.
Yep. And they have the whole space themselves, nobody else.
They can have it for an hour, 2 hours, and it works really, really well.
And what do you charge for that?
£150,
okay.
And that's for the entirety. You can use
anything you want, free of charge. Yep. And do people tend to book it for just an hour? Or do they take it for 2 hours? How does it tend to work?
All depends really on the individual group.
Yep.
We've got one this Saturday that's coming in, which is for some sort of like teenage footballs. There's 2 teams, so there's quite a lot of them. So therefore they've booked it out for 2 hours.
Yep.
Rather than the single hour. So it all depends.
Makes sense. So talking about booking then, you said, when you came to the event, you found a booking system. So what booking system did you choose?
We use a system called To Go.
Yep.
They do a specific competitive socialising package.
Yep.
Basically, we heard of those through I believe it's Roxy, the Roxy group. It's the same thing that they use, but obviously ours is, I think it's actually the same system, but they go on how much equipment that you've got. So the more equipment you've got, so the big players, they obviously pay an awful lot more than the independents. But works really well, very, very helpful, and integrates all into your website and very cost effective.
Yeah, so that's a great tip. And that website integration, then that comes out on your system here, so you can see who's booked, what times it's used, and it all just integrates seamlessly. And
it's all connected through Stripe, so it basically the payments go straight into your bank. Yeah, so they pay online, and it's straight into your bank.
That's a good tip for anybody that needs a booking system. Sounds like you found the right one there. And in terms of what you charge, how much do you charge for the darts?
The darts are £25 per hour.
Do you charge per Rocky, per hour, not per individual?
No, per lane.
Yep.
Pool tables are £10 for the hour, or you can book it £6 for half an hour.
Yeah.
So some people might not.
And I see you got a coin mech, but is that just on tokens?
Yeah. No, it's not on tokens. It's on free play.
It's just just push it in.
They come and get the balls kept behind the bar.
Okay.
The staff bring the balls out, and then it's just on free play.
Okay, that makes sense. And your golf darts?
Golf darts is £10 an hour.
Yep.
£6 for half an hour.
I missed shuffleboard, didn't I?
Shuffleboard, £12 an hour.
Yep.
And £7 for half an hour.
Brilliant. Karaoke?
Karaoke, we changed what we did with that. We were initially charging people per individual, but we found that wasn't very cost effective. They thought that was quite expensive. So we now rent the whole room out for £20 an hour.
Right.
And it's basically as many as you can fit in there, as long as it's like not getting too claustrophobic.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Gives a really good rundown. So in terms of performance then, so you opened up in November, and here we are, we're filming this start of March. So you've had 4 months, I guess.
Yeah.
You were telling me that your takings have been up overall. So what's the kind of growth that you've experienced?
So we are limited in hours that we're open. So we're only open on a Friday night, a Saturday all day, a Saturday night, a Sunday all day, and a Sunday night. And we thought initially it was because it was coming up to Christmas. We found that on a Friday and a Saturday night, our takings were up as a whole of the building by 25%. Thought it might drop off in January, but it's maintained it. So we've increased revenue on a weekend basically by 25%, and it's held in the 2 death months of the hospitality industry, January and February.
Did you expect that? What did you hope when you did this? Obviously, there's quite an investment you put into doing
Yes.
this, a lot of time and effort. So did you have a plan that you've given yourselves, all right, we want to see an increase of X amount?
We're from quite a small town, and we knew that it's going to be a long journey. It's not, we didn't think that as we opened, it's going to be like everything is booked out at once.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think I was expecting it quite those figures. I thought there's going to be a percentage increase,
A bit up,
and I thought it might drop off in January, but it's held steady.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll increase.
So it's had a halo effect using what was effectively a dead space above your bar and your restaurant. You know, do you think that people that come in here, are you seeing them eating in the restaurant?
Yes.
Down? Okay.
So what we're seeing is, I mean, they can eat up here, but we're getting sort of large groups that are either eating downstairs in the restaurant and then coming up here, or vice versa, coming up here first and then going down and eating. So we get the beverage sales obviously from the bar up here, but the food sales as well.
Yeah.
So it's increased.
Yeah.
Obviously, you get rental from all the games as well. But yeah, as a whole, it's increased by 25%.
Yeah, which is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah,
really?
it's unbelievable.
It's really good. So in terms of sort of future plans, then, is there anything you're thinking, right, this is what I want to change or do or add, or what things have you learned, I guess, from 4 months?
Certain games, well, we've got an F1 simulator that hasn't really worked for us, but as we sort of chatted before, it's kind of tucked away. And I think that needs to be more prevalent in the bar area, and maybe some of the arcade machines that we've got, putting them on free play, so you can have a go on that while you're waiting for a table or for a dartboard or for a shuffleboard, and just sort of make the ambience of the place a bit more sort of welcoming. Yeah,
that's good. That's good. Okay, great stuff. Any advice you give to anybody that wants to do a project like this, who's had the same sort of, I don't know, they probably haven't got martial artists smashing their ceiling up for them. But, you know, what would you say in terms of what were the key steps for you then? What would you say what you'd do?
Key steps, I would definitely say do your research. Hence how we found your company was looking for the smart boards and then realising that you do an awful lot more than just dartboards. Do your research. Go and visit some of the big players. That was an eye-opener for me and my wife. We hadn't really heard of Roxy, we hadn't heard of Lane 7. Go and visit them. You haven't got the space to do what they do, but look at the space you have got and make the most of it. Don't try and cram too much in. Make sure you've got a lot of room for people just to mooch around. But we were lucky we've got such a large space, but I don't think you necessarily need that. If you've just got a small area, a shuffleboard can go in there. A pool table, smart board can go in there. Just make the most of the area that you've got. It doesn't have to be, like, we were very fortunate that we got this old ballroom, but you don't necessarily need that much space, and it can bring customers in. But
what advice would you give for marketing then? Because obviously you've got this off the ground and you've got it up and running. What would you say?
The way we've gone about it, obviously down all the social media outlets, we've got in touch with local radio, so we've had local radio ads going out who've done us some really good deals. Just get the word out there. And if you can have a pool table, try and get a pool team in. So that's bringing people from other pubs, and they're like,
and of course, you've got your sports teams as well, haven't you? You
sponsor
the football.
We sponsor 2 of the local football teams, the ladies' football team. We're getting involved now with the kids' football, because obviously the kids coming through, this is ideal for them. They love it. And it's also, the kids are coming up here, the parents can have a drink. The parents sort of get more involved than the kids, to be perfectly honest. So it's a win-win situation, really.
That's brilliant. Good. Well, look, I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for showing us around.
No problem at all.
And I think people that watch this will really appreciate your insight in terms of what you've done, the journey you've been on, and all I can say is I'm blown away by what you've achieved. So,
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.